And we're live. Politics is all about the narrative. Now they decided to release the January 6th tape. And I think it's switching the narrative that the insurrection and they want to take over and flip the government. But looking at the tapes, it switches the narrative. So it's a completely different story. I wanted to take a look at the tapes and give you guys my opinion on the whole situation because this is crazy. January 6th tapes are crazy. But welcome to Verbal on Live. And by the way, I'm trying to blow up this channel. I'm up to 604. So trying to create a channel where you can be Verbal on Live and myself and talk about what's going on. So the January 6th tapes. Let's move on. So here's the tape that got released. Let's take a look and then we'll talk about it. Look at Trump, AGI. Now this is footage that they didn't show. Where you got police officers on the side and people just walking.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Yesterday was a landmark day in press freedom and journalism, citizen journalism, when the House Republicans released all of the January 6th footage. And what has it proven? It's proven that we were right. It's proven that January 6th was a setup. It's proven that cops acted as tour guides, escorting peaceful protesters through the building, entrapping them, showing them around, taking photos with them, unleashing them from zip ties and handcuffs, fist bumping them, and then they all left peacefully from the building. It shows that the narrative of January 6th is completely and totally farcical, that it's fraudulent, and that you have been lied to, ladies and gentlemen. This is the largest bombshell story in American history because so much has happened because of the lie that was January 6th. Now ask yourself, why did it take 3 years for this footage to be released? And here's what happened. Speaker Mike Johnson said, we are now releasing all of the footage. This happened on a Friday afternoon. We are now going to give all access to any American citizen the footage of January 6th. You can go into this specialized portal, effectively, and you can go look at 40,000 hours and clip from it what you will. Take from it what you will. You're allowed 10 clips a day. You can go request clips till the end of time.
Like looking at this video clip, it doesn't fit the narrative. This looks like people just walking. It looks so nice.
Even come till Valhalla, right? And so people have been doing this, and what have people been finding? They've been clipping images like this and scenes like this of peaceful protesters walking down the hall, of people being escorted around the Capitol building by cops, people being fist bumped by cops. This man getting zip tied, his zip ties effectively cut. Apparently he was restrained, cut, and then fist bumping the police officers. The entire narrative is fraudulent. Everything you've been told is a lie. The cops were part of it. When are they going to lock the cops up? I don't know. The cops on the date of January 6th said.
And let me give props to the Democrats that they were able to shape the narrative for everyone in the whole country to see and think otherwise. So you got to give props to the Democrats for doing this.
They said that they were being set up. The police officers, as soon as J6 started popping off, said, wait a second, this is all set up. Hold on. Look, we're understaffed. We're undermanned. They wanted this thing to fail. Watch.
They set us the up. That's what they did. They set up 64. Oh, absolutely. And then they asked us to come 2 hours later. They set us up. They needed everybody right away. Nah, right away. They set up a up. Nah, we ain't got we ain't got no mother. They set up
Everyone across the internet is making the same point, which is, why did the January 6th committee not release this footage? Why have you been lied to by Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney and all of the corporate press about this? Why did it take citizen journalists to actually uncover footage like this? Why? Because they needed to protect a narrative that every person that entered the Capitol on January 6th was a dangerous terrorist insurrectionist. Sorry, guys, definitionally, insurrection is an attempted armed overthrow of the government. Does this look like an overthrow of the government to you, or does this look like sightseers wandering around peacefully inside of the Capitol building? That is precisely what it is, and they threw people in jail for 20-odd years for this. By the way, you can see in multiple clips, police officers effectively escorting people through the building, bringing them into the building. J6ers have committed suicide. There have been 5 people, to our count, that have committed suicide because the federal government will not tolerate an argument in court that the police officers opened the doors and led people peacefully into the building. But that is precisely what you see in these clips. The media needed a narrative. They needed a narrative in order to attack Republicans as violent extremists, because all they had till the dawn of time was left-wing violent extremism. Left-wing violent extremism at the White House, left-wing violent extremism inside of every single protest in Washington, D.C. For all the time that I lived there for 15 straight years, every violent protest was a left-wing protest. I was physically assaulted, spit on at these protests. My family was put in danger.
You know what? Let me pause it right there. And let me give props to the Democrats that were able to pull this off, to build this story and have us believe that this is real. And this looks crazy.
Danger from these protests. I saw that with my own eyes. I saw them burn down the White House. I saw them attack cops, attack security. The left did nothing. The media did nothing. They must have a separate narrative because they needed to lie to people to say.
How do you put together this narrative and make it work?
Only ever delivered good results.
You're good.
People, they needed to have their color revolution, and that's what this was. That's what this was. Clip after clip, tape after tape, image after image, video after video that is leaking out of this is showing that not only that, the press were literally sitting there waiting for this to happen. An incredible thing that's popped off here is that you can see in one of the clips, journalists inside the Capitol building standing there taking photos, like waiting in a line as though they were like witnessing something that was pre-rehearsed. Ladies and gentlemen, like the real question here is how many feds were in the audience, were in the crowd, who was breaking the doors, who were the breach teams. Once you had a breach, it would have been like there's chaos. People are going to wander into the building. So how many federal agents behaved criminally that day? We know for a fact that there were undercover police officers in the crowd. We know for a fact, we have their body cam footage, that these guys behaved in a criminal manner, encouraging people to go into the building, encouraging people to go up the scaffolding, encouraging people to commit crimes because many of these people have been charged with trespassing. Their entire narrative has been utterly and totally and completely destroyed, obliterated, immolated. And now it's time for some hard facts. The only reason they did this is in order to kick Donald Trump off the ballot. In multiple states, they are trying to remove Donald Trump from the ballot for what? Insurrection. Even though Donald Trump said march peacefully, and all these people did follow Trump's orders and march peacefully. In multiple states, Donald Trump is being charged. Donald Trump is being persecuted federally for inciting an insurrection in Washington, D.C. They're going to try and nab him on that. They needed to try and put Donald Trump in prison. That's what this is all about. The big lie. This is the left's big lie. Their big lie was that January 6th was a violent insurrection. And now it has been utterly and totally demonstrably proven that police officers assisted, helped, and acted as tour guides, fist bumping the peaceful protesters that wandered through the building. Now, people may clip this out of context. There was hooliganism that happened on January 6th. We covered that. In fact, an Antifa BLM undercover LARPer, MAGA LARPer, is going to go to prison. Caught a case yesterday. 7 felonies. We are not. If you punch a cop and if you hit a cop, you should go to jail, period. I don't care who you are, what your political stripe is. What we are saying is that the vast majority of people on this day were not only acting peacefully and as like effectively tourists inside of the United States Capitol, but they were helped in by the federal agents in the crowd and by the cops standing at the building. And the real people who need to answer for all of this are people like Nancy Pelosi, who allowed the Capitol building to be breached, who refused to take the phone calls from the chief of police. All
right. So
guard offer from Donald Trump. You cannot be an insurrectionist if you're offering 20,000 National Guard troops to protect the building. That's impossible.
Look at the cops running.
So this is what we've learned, ladies and gentlemen. You have been lied to. We were right the whole time. The truth shall set you free.
Let me give props to the Dems or to the people that put this together. You know, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of people involved. Not easy to do, but they were able to put the insurrection thing together or idea.
They are sick scum. Ladies and gentlemen.
Let me stop it right there. And again, the January 6th Democratic narrative, I think it worked. I think it's a pretty good one. Let's give them props. You're never going to see the Republican pull something off like this. You're never going to hear the Republican setting up the Democrat with something like this. It's like they don't have the power or the know-how. Or maybe they have the know-how, they just don't do it. They're really, really scared. I hope that they switch their narrative for next elections, which is coming up. All right, this is a 10-minute video. If you keep still watching, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow and get more people to comment below and be verbal on live. All right, I'm building the channel for you. I'm Noel, battling MS. And I had to get into the politics behind this because the January 6th release footage is crazy. And it's just switching the narrative And I just got to give props to the Democrats for doing a great job at just putting out the footage that they wanted to and making us believe.
Well, shut up, Patriot J.